Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to tonight's debate. My name is Oliver and I'm the chairman, and Amy is the timekeeper. This debate will be judged by a panel of three adjudicators who are Miss France, Mrs. Brond and Miss Boyd-Turner. The topic of this debate is that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. The affirmative team seated to my right is from St. Aloysius College, and the negative team seated to my left is from St. Dominic's Priory College. The speaking time for this debate is 6 minutes, with a double bell at the end of your speaking time. A warning bell will ring once at 5 minutes. A continuous bell will ring 30 seconds after the final bell. I declare this debate open, and I call upon the first affirmative speaker, Sachi.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. I will begin by defining the topic. According to BBC, Banksy refers to the world-renowned but anonymous street artist from the UK, active from the late 20th century to the present, famous for his politically charged and satirical works. Da Vinci of his time means the modern equivalent of Leonardo da Vinci, who, according to Britannica, is a revolutionary artist whose work defines the culture, values, and imagination of their age. So let's be clear. While both are artists in their own right, this debate is not about comparing brushstrokes or whether Banksy can paint like Da Vinci. It's about comparing their roles and influences in their respective societies. And we, the affirmative team, firmly believe that this statement is true. Before I can discuss my arguments, I will outline our team structure. As first speaker, I will argue that Banksy, like Da Vinci, has redefined art through innovation and has made art accessible to everyone, not just the privileged. Our second speaker will then show how Banksy challenges power, social norms, and exerts a global influence in the 21st century that mirrors Da Vinci's impact in the Renaissance. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our team's case. Now to my points. Let's begin with these artist skills of innovation, the ability not to just create art, but entirely new ways of seeing, doing, and using new machinery. Leonardo da Vinci was not just a painter. He reinvented the very way people approach art and science during the Renaissance. According to the National Gallery, he pioneered fumato, blending colours so that faces appeared to glow with life. Furthermore, according to the British Library, his notebooks contain sketches of helicopters, tanks, and bridges, innovative technologies that were centuries ahead of their time. Leonardo didn't just capture reality, he invented a new way of defining art itself. And Banksy carries that same spirit of technological innovation into the new era. Before him, graffiti was dismissed as vandalism. According to Oxford University Press's Street Art and Graffiti, Banksy invented a new form of street art. His innovation was the stencil, fast, sharp, and precise, allowing entire murals to appear in minutes. According to The Independent, his technology enabled him to produce highly detailed works quickly and claim visibility in public spaces that had previously silenced such voices. And just as Da Vinci redefined art in his time, Banksy redefines it in ours. In 2018, Girl with Balloon sold for $1.4 million at Sotheby's, only to shred itself through a hidden mechanism in the frame as the hammer fell. According to The Guardian, the artwork, renamed Love is in the Bin, later resold for $25 million. Who else today destroys a painting and makes it 20 times more valuable? But this was not about profit. It was about redefining value itself. In society where art is often reduced to a price tag, Banksy invented an artistic act that turned destruction into creation. That's innovation. Both men didn't just create art. They rewrote what art could be. And that's why Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. Now let's turn to my second point. Both artists ensured that art is accessible to everyone, not just the privileged few. According to the National Gallery, Da Vinci's Last Supper wasn't hidden away in a palace or behind closed doors. It was painted directly on the wall of a convent dining hall in Milan, where monks, visitors, and ordinary citizens could see it every day. Another example is the Virgin of the Rocks, hung on the altar of a church for all to see. According to the World History Encyclopedia, at a time when art was reserved for royalty, Leonardo gave art to the people, ensuring it was part of daily life, not just an object of elite approval. Now let me ask you this. Since Da Vinci, when was the last time the very first person to lay eyes on a masterpiece could be anyone, from a homeless man searching for shelter to a businessman rushing to work? That's the power of Banksy. His canvases are city streets. His galleries are alleyways, bridges, walls, and sidewalks. According to the New York Times, his 2013 New York exhibition featured over 160 artworks scattered across the city, free and accessible to millions of ordinary people. Unlike traditional museums or auction houses, Banksy's art isn't guarded by ticket barriers or velvet ropes. It can be experienced by anyone walking down the street without paying a cent. So, we see a clear parallel. Both artists have democratized art by breaking barriers, showing that art belongs to everyone, not just the elite. So, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the truth is clear. Leonardo da Vinci defined the Renaissance. Banksy defines today. Both are innovators, changing the landscapes in which art is received and experienced. Both artists prove that true art, whether painted centuries ago or sprayed today, always leaves a mark on this world. Thank you.
I call upon the first negative speaker, Isabella.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. We, the negative team, strongly disagree with this statement. However, we do agree with the definition provided by the affirmative team. Before I begin my argument, I would like to rebut the opposing team's statements. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that Banksy's innovative techniques place him on par with Da Vinci. However, this is not entirely true, because according to Street Art Utopia, Banksy primarily uses stencils and spray paint, tools already common in street art. While he applies them cleverly, these techniques are not original innovations. In contrast, according to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Da Vinci developed sfumato, perfected linear perspective, and advanced anatomical accuracy in art, which fundamentally reshaped painting and influenced both art and science for centuries. Banksy may provoke thought, but he does not pioneer techniques that redefine a discipline. Tonight, as first speaker, I'll be informing you about Da Vinci's scope of contribution and his timelessness of work. Our second speaker, Minerva, will be speaking about the level of mastery and innovation pioneered by Da Vinci and the universal versus cultural legacy. And our third speaker, Katrina, will rebut and sum up our team case. Together, we will show you why Banksy cannot stand beside Da Vinci. Now to my first point, that Banksy's scope of contribution is far narrower than Da Vinci's. Leonardo da Vinci was not only a painter, he was a scientist, engineer, and a visionary. The Smithsonian Institution records that his notebooks contain designs for helicopters, submarines, and tanks, all conceived centuries before they were possible. The British Library highlights his anatomical studies, which blended artistic detail with scientific accuracy and advanced the understanding of the human body. In art, the Metropolitan Museum confirms that Da Vinci pioneered techniques of perspective light and sfumato, innovations that reshaped the very foundation of his paintings. His influence extended across disciplines and changed the way humans think about both art and science. Now, if this is compared to Banksy, his contribution is confined primarily to stencil graffiti and street art, often designed to provoke and critique social and political issues. Works such as The Girl with a Balloon or The Protester Throwing the Flowers have sparked conversation and media attention, but they remain tied to the cultural context of present day. Unlike Da Vinci, Banksy's work does not create new fields of knowledge or expand humanity's understanding of the world. His scope, while culturally visible, is narrow. Furthermore, the impact of Da Vinci's work crosses disciplines and centuries. A modern engineer can study his flying machine sketches and gain insight into mechanics. A medical student can learn from his anatomical drawings. Artists continue to learn from his techniques. This is what makes Da Vinci truly universal. His contributions are multi-layered and enduring. Banksy's work, by contrast, is largely limited to commentary. Its lessons are immediate, but not universal. Now, to my second point, that Banksy's work lacks the timelessness that defines Da Vinci's legacy. Leonardo da Vinci's creations are not only celebrated today, but continue to inspire generations hundreds of years after they were made. The Louvre Museum reports that the Mona Lisa remains the most visited painting in the world, and it is analysed across cultures for its mastery of expression and technique. His Last Supper continues to be studied as the cornerstone of composition and storytelling. According to UNESCO, Da Vinci embodies the Renaissance spirit of universal knowledge, proving that his work resonated far beyond his own era. By contrast, Banksy's art is deeply tied to current events. According to The Guardian, the significance of his stencils derives from immediacy. They respond to the headlines and political debates of the day. While this makes his work powerful in the present, it raises a critical question. What happens when the context fades? Will people in 100 or 500 years understand the meaning of his pieces without a history lesson? Timelessness requires more than contemporary relevance. It requires enduring impact. So, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, we, the negative team, strongly disagree with the topic because we have seen that Leonardo da Vinci's genius extended far beyond the boundaries of art into science, engineering, and innovation, while Banksy's scope is largely limited to street art and social critique. We have also seen that Da Vinci's work endures across centuries, inspiring countless generations, whereas Banksy's relevance is closely tied to contemporary culture and news cycles. Banksy may be clever, he may even provoke important conversation, but to say that he is the Da Vinci of our time is not just an exaggeration, it is a distortion of history. His contributions, while meaningful in the moment, lack the scope and timelessness that defines a true genius. Thank you.
I call upon the second affirmative speaker, Angelique.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. We, the affirmative team, firmly believe that the statement is undeniably true. The first negative speaker has mentioned that Banksy is not innovative like Da Vinci because he only copies existing street art styles. But that's simply incorrect. While street art existed before him, Banksy redefined the medium by combining stenciling with sharp political satire and accessibility in a way no one had done before, as my first speaker has stated. Also, according to Christie's, Banksy's auction works now sell for tens of millions, not because he copies, but because his voice is unique and disruptive. Copying doesn't spark global headlines and cultural debate. Innovation does. And Banksy clearly leads that movement, making him the Da Vinci of his time. Our first speaker has already debated 2 points tonight. Firstly, she discussed that, like Da Vinci, Banksy is an innovator, redefining art through techniques and bold acts. Secondly, she brought attention to how both men made art accessible to everyone. Da Vinci's works were for ordinary people, and Banksy brings art to the streets, free and open to all. Tonight, as second speaker, I will be addressing 2 points. Firstly, I will show how Banksy, like Da Vinci, challenges power and societal norms through his work. Secondly, I will demonstrate how Banksy's global influence cements his position as one of the most powerful artists of our time, proving that Banksy truly is the Da Vinci of his era. Our third speaker will rebut and sum up our case. One of the most striking similarities between Leonardo da Vinci and Banksy is how they use their art to confront authority and reshape the world's thinking. Da Vinci didn't just exist in the Renaissance, he helped define its upheaval. In a time when the church held immense religious and political power, questioning their beliefs was dangerous. Through his anatomical sketches, Da Vinci revealed groundbreaking truths about the human body, directly defying the church's strict bans on dissection. According to the Smithsonian Museum, many of these works were so radical they were kept secret during his lifetime. By challenging sacred teachings, Da Vinci wasn't just innovating art and science, he was shaking the very foundations of political and religious authority. His work exposed the limits of those in power and forced society to face new truths. Similarly, Banksy uses his art to confront today's power structures. His striking street pieces appear suddenly in public spaces, demanding attention and forcing viewers to confront uncomfortable realities about war, inequality, and capitalism. Take Rage, the flower thrower. A protester ready to hurl a weapon instead throws a bouquet of flowers. In one image, Banksy transforms violence into peace, aggression into hope. This isn't just art, it's a challenge to the systems that breed conflict. Banksy himself has said, art should comfort the disturbed and disturb the comfortable. His mission is clear, to question, provoke, and inspire. Like Da Vinci, he isn't creating simply for beauty's sake. He is creating to drive meaningful social change. Just as Da Vinci's work shifted the course of history, Banksy's pieces have become catalysts for dialogue on a world stage. Both prove that art isn't merely decorative, it's transformative. Further to that, Banksy's global influence demonstrates why he is undeniably the Da Vinci of our time. During the Renaissance, Da Vinci's masterpieces, like the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, shaped the future of art and science. These works spread across Europe, influencing generations of artists and thinkers. They weren't just admired, they changed the trajectory of culture and knowledge. Similarly, Banksy's art transcends borders and languages, reaching millions within hours. BBC News reports that whenever he unveils a new work, photos are shared worldwide, almost instantly, sparking global conversations. This isn't just exposure, it's impact. Take his powerful Kissing Coppers mural in Brighton, depicting 2 male police officers kissing. It was created when same-sex marriage was still illegal in the UK. The mural provoked outrage from conservatives while becoming a symbol of hope and solidarity for the LGBTQIA+ community. When it was removed and sold, The Guardian described it as a 2-fingered salute to the conventional art world, a poke in the eye for homophobes, and a feather in Brighton's nonconformist cap. It became a shrine for fans and a staple of Brighton's identity, proof of how deeply embedded Banksy's work had become in society. BBC Culture later reflected that the image assumes a sense of shock on the part of passers-by, as if suggesting that such affectionate behaviour is incongruous for police officers as the throwing of petals would be for hooded hooligans. This demonstrates Banksy's power to challenge authority and shift attitudes. Banksy's activism extends beyond murals. In 2017, he opened the Waldorf Hotel in Bethlehem beside the West Bank barrier. Described by the New York Times as part art installation, part political statement, part business venture, the project drew international attention to the human cost of conflict. Thousands visited, proof of art's capacity to inspire empathy and action. While Da Vinci relied on sketches and apprentices to spread ideas, Banksy wields phones, cameras, and viral media. Both men use the tools of their eras to shape culture, spark conversation. Thus, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, when we consider both the purpose and the impact of their work, it becomes clear that Banksy truly is a Da Vinci of his time. Like Da Vinci, Banksy challenges the powerful and sparks difficult conversations. Like Da Vinci, he has a global reach, using the tools of his era to shape culture and inspire people worldwide. To deny Banksy this title is to ignore the revolution that has already begun. Da Vinci's works have been studied for centuries in galleries and history books. Banksy's street art is already entering those same spaces. Proof his legacy will endure for generations to come. Thank you.
I call upon the second negative speaker, Manila.
Good evening, Madam Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for our debate is that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. We, the negative team, believe this claim is inaccurate and misleading. Before I build our case, let me challenge the opposition's points. The first affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that Banksy's art is accessible to all, like Da Vinci's. This is wrong, because Banksy's works are frequently removed or destroyed due to their location on public or private property. For instance, his recent mural depicting a judge striking a protester was quickly covered up by authorities at the Royal Courts of Justice in London, citing the building's historic status. According to The Guardian, court staff covered the artwork to preserve the integrity of the Grade II listed Queen's building. Similarly, the Washington Post reported that the mural was removed due to the building's historic significance. In contrast, Da Vinci's masterpieces, such as the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, have been preserved for centuries and continue to be admired worldwide. The second affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that breaking barriers makes Banksy a modern Da Vinci. This is wrong, because according to History Extra, Da Vinci's defines spanned art, science, and engineering, like our first speaker Isabella said, creating new knowledges, techniques, and machines that reshaped human understanding. Banksy's work, according to Street Art Utopia, provokes discussion tied to current headlines, but does not leave a lasting impact. Our first speaker, Isabella, highlighted that Da Vinci's genius spanned art, science, anatomy, and engineering, whereas Banksy's focus is narrower, limited to street art and cultural critique. She also showed that Da Vinci's masterpieces remain universally relevant centuries later, while Banksy's is tied to contemporary events. Tonight, I will build on her arguments with 2 points. First, the difference in mastery and innovation. Second, the contrast between a universal legacy and cultural commentary. Now, to my first point, mastery and innovation. Leonardo da Vinci wasn't just an artist. He was a scientist, an engineer, an anatomist, and a visionary whose brilliance reshaped multiple fields of human knowledge. His mastery of light, shadow, and perspective transformed Renaissance painting. Techniques like sfumato give his work depth and subtlety that continue to inspire artists today. His notebooks, preserved by the British Library, reveal flying machines, bridges, and war devices conceived centuries before technology could realize them. His anatomical studies, praised by medical historians, reveal the human body with a precision that still informs medical illustration today. Da Vinci did not merely respond to the world. He created it, advancing multiple disciplines simultaneously. Banksy, by contrast, works primarily with stenciled graffiti. His innovation lies in his anonymous nature, shock value, and placing provocative images in public spaces. The art critic describes his work as a weapon of massive resistance, transforming urban walls into platforms for social critique. Yes, it sparks conversation, Yes, it is clever. But political commentary and clever stencils do not create new knowledge the way Da Vinci's discoveries did. His mischievous rats, dreamlike children, and politically charged artworks, as documented in Street Art Utopia, challenge authority and highlight issues like war, capitalism, and inequality. Yet, their impact is immediate, not foundational. Banksy reacts to history. Da Vinci shaped it. Mistaking reaction for creation dilutes the true meaning of genius. Now, to my second point, universal legacy versus cultural commentary. Da Vinci's influence is open, enduring, and universal. Engineers still study his flying machine sketches. Artists continue to learn from his techniques in light, shadow, and perspective. Medical students study his anatomical drawings. UNESCO recognizes him as a symbol of the Renaissance spirit of universal knowledge, demonstrating that his work transcends time, place, and discipline. Banksy's work, however, is bound to the present. A girl letting go of a balloon, a protester throwing flowers, or the installation at the Waldorf Hotel are powerful because they reflect contemporary debates on war, inequality, and capitalism. The Guardian notes their impact derives from immediacy. But what will happen when the headlines fade? Will future generations line up to decode a Banksy stencil as they do to Da Vinci's notebooks? Moreover, Banksy's anonymous identity limits mentorship, dialogue, and lasting influence. Da Vinci shared ideas openly with patrons and peers, leaving a trail of inspiration for generations. Mystery alone cannot replace enduring impact. To use a metaphor, Da Vinci built bridges across centuries. Banksy paints signs on walls that may fade with the weather, meaningful only for a moment in time. So, ladies and gentlemen, what have we seen here tonight? Da Vinci's mastery and innovation reshaped multiple fields and advanced civilization, while Banksy's work, though culturally relevant, exists primarily as commentary. Da Vinci left a universal legacy. Banksy leaves cultural critique. Da Vinci engaged openly with the world. Banksy hides behind a mask. Yes, Banksy is provocative. Yes, he is clever. But ladies and gentlemen, cleverness without mastery is not enough. Relevance without timelessness is not enough. And this is why it matters. Calling Banksy the Da Vinci of our time misrepresents the scale of true genius and diminishes the enduring impact of human innovation. So, ladies and gentlemen, street art, no matter how striking, cannot compare to the boundless genius of Leonardo da Vinci. Thank you.
I call upon the third affirmative speaker, Gianna.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen. The topic for tonight's debate is that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. As the affirmative team, we firmly support this statement because Banksy, like Leonardo da Vinci, is a figure whose influence stretches far beyond the canvas. I will begin by addressing the flaws within the opposition's arguments. The first negative speaker suggests that Banksy hasn't contributed to human progress in the way Da Vinci did through inventions and scientific observation. But this comparison misunderstands the very definition of human progress. Progress is not only measured by machines or anatomical sketches, but also by the way societies think, question authority, and pursue justice. Banksy has, in fact, reshaped the cultural and political conversation on a global scale. His work has been described by The Guardian as a form of visual activism, sparking debate about war, consumerism, and inequality. For example, his piece Beloved Parliament, which portrays the British House of Commons filled with chimpanzees, became one of the most talked about artworks of the decade, provoking international discussion about democracy, leadership, and the state of politics. Likewise, his series on the Israeli West Bank barrier has forced millions worldwide to confront questions about freedom and human rights. If Da Vinci pushed humanity forward by expanding our scientific horizons, Banksy pushes us forward by expanding our moral and social consciousness. To dismiss this as irrelevant to human progress is to ignore that ideas, just like inventions, change the course of history. The first negative speaker has also argued that Banksy's current fame doesn't guarantee a lasting legacy, unlike Da Vinci's timeless impact. But history shows us that many visionaries were unappreciated or even rejected in their own lifetimes. Let's not forget Vincent van Gogh. He sold just one painting in his lifetime and died believing he was a failure. Yet today, Van Gogh's art is priceless and profoundly influential worldwide. This proves that influence isn't always immediate or obvious in the moment. Banksy's ideas and messages are already shaping conversations about politics, social justice, and the role of art in society. If history has taught us anything, it's that powerful legacies start with bold ideas that challenge the status quo, just like Banksy's work is doing right now. The second negative speaker has also argued that Banksy is just a street artist, especially with his very recent mural on the Royal Courts of Justice just this week. But this act actually strengthens our case. Like Da Vinci, Banksy doesn't play it safe. He confronts systems of power head-on. The court is a symbol of justice. Yet Banksy's image, a judge striking a protester, forces society to question whether justice is really being served. Yes, it's controversial. So was Da Vinci dissecting human bodies in secret, which was illegal at his time. According to The Guardian, the mural is already facing removal, proving how threatened institutions are by art that tells the truth. That's not crime, that's courage. And it's exactly what makes him the Da Vinci of our time. The second negative speaker has also briefly stated that Banksy's anonymity makes him less significant. But that's a misunderstanding of how social power works in different eras. In the Renaissance, identity was the story. Da Vinci was born out of wedlock and had no formal education, which made his achievements a direct challenge to the class system of his time. According to the Met Museum, his rise made waves because he wasn't elite. But today, revealing your identity is the norm. You can post your life online in 30 seconds. Anonymity, by contrast, has become the disruption. Banksy's refusal to reveal himself is not a weakness. It's his most powerful tool. It forces us to focus on the message, not the messenger. Fame and identity are not the same. You can still be famous and not known. And Banksy proves that influence doesn't just require a face, it only requires a voice. Therefore, Banksy's anonymity does not make him less significant to leave a lasting legacy. In fact, it is one of the most striking similarities he holds with Da Vinci. I will now summarize my team's case. Tonight, we, the Affirmative team, have demonstrated why Banksy is indeed the Da Vinci of our time. Our first speaker established that both Leonardo da Vinci and Banksy are defined by their innovation and accessibility. Leonardo pioneered scientific and artistic techniques centuries ahead of his time. Likewise, Banksy revolutionized street art through his stencil style and redefined what society considers valuable in art. Both brought their work into the public, making it accessible to everyday people. Our second speaker insightfully explained how both artists use their work to challenge power and spark social change. Da Vinci defied the church and social norms, while Banksy uses public art to confront war, inequality, and capitalism. She also showed how Banksy's global influence through viral media and projects mirrors Da Vinci's wide-reaching legacy, proving his impact is both immediate and lasting. Thus, Chairperson, ladies and gentlemen, as Leonardo da Vinci once said, simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Banksy embodies this idea, creating profound impact through a single image on a wall or a stencil in an alley. Just like Da Vinci, he blurs the line between art and activism, beauty and message. Banksy doesn't just create art, he reshapes how art interacts with the world. That is why we firmly believe Banksy is not only an artist and political activist, but truly the Da Vinci of our time. Thank you.
I call upon the third negative speaker, Katrina.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, the opposing team. The topic for our debate is that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. We, the negative team, strongly and firmly believe that this statement is false. I will now point out some flaws in the affirmative team's case. The first affirmative team has tried to tell you that Banksy's art is universally meaningful, like Da Vinci's. This is wrong because according to The Guardian, many of Banksy's works rely on contemporary political and social events to be fully understood, such as his murals commenting on Brexit or the Israel and Palestine conflict. Without knowledge of these events, the significance of his art may be lost. In contrast, according to the Louvre, Da Vinci's masterpieces, including the Mona Lisa and the Last Supper, continue to be celebrated for their universal artistic and emotional impact, transcending the era and context in which they were created. Banksy's relevance is tied to the present, while Da Vinci's work remains timeless. The affirmative team has also tried to tell you that Banksy's use of technology matches Da Vinci's interdisciplinary genius. This is wrong because according to Smithsonian Magazine, Da Vinci combined art with revolutionary scientific engineering ideas, designing flying machines, tanks, and anatomical studies centuries ahead of their time. Banksy's use of social media and auction stunts, according to Far Out Magazine, is clever marketing but does not constitute for scientific or artistic innovation. The first affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that Banksy's influence is just as comparable as to Da Vinci's. This is wrong because according to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, Da Vinci's influence spans centuries of both artistic and scientific studies. His works are taught in universities, analyzed for their techniques, and referenced in the disciplines ranging from painting to engineering. In contrast, Banksy's influence, as noted by Street Art Utopia, is largely confined to popular culture and social media. His art sparks conversation, creates viral moments, and inspires other street arts, but it does not advance any academic knowledge or establish new methods within any formal discipline. Popularity and social relevance do not equate to lasting genius. Da Vinci's work reshaped human understanding and created a legacy that continues to educate and inspire us each day. The second affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that both artists did stuff against social norms. Yes, both did challenge their societal norms, but the difference is in what they achieved. The British Library highlights how Leonardo broke taboos by dissecting human bodies to study anatomy, creating drawings that advance medical science. The Metropolitan Museum of Art confirms how he revolutionized painting with techniques like sfumato, which transformed how artists use light and shadow. Banksy, on the other hand, challenges political systems through graffiti, which The Guardian describes as impactful largely because of its immediacy. His art sparks debate, but does not expand knowledge or reshape disciplines. Da Vinci's challenges advanced civilization. Banksy's remain cultural commentary. The second affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that Banksy's satire is equivalent to Da Vinci's subtle critiques. This is wrong because according to Canvas Prints Australia, Da Vinci embedded critiques in his works and notebooks that advanced knowledge across fields. Banksy's overt satirical critiques target immediate audience or political issues without creating lasting influence. The third affirmative speaker has tried to tell you that Banksy's anonymity enhances his genius, similar to Da Vinci's aura of intrigue. This is wrong because according to the British Library, Da Vinci, while enigmatic, openly collaborated with patrons and apprentices, spreading his techniques and knowledge widely, which helped shape the course of Renaissance art and science. According to Far Out magazine, Banksy's strict anonymity, although it adds mystique, prevents him from mentoring others or directly influencing future artists. While mystery may draw attention, it does not replace the lasting impact created through open collaboration and shared knowledge. The third affirmative speaker has also tried to tell you that Banksy's social commentary is as profound as Da Vinci's intellectual contributions. This is wrong because according to Street Art Utopia, Banksy's work relies on direct visual satire and clear political messages designed for immediate impact. While clever and thought-provoking, the meaning is context-dependent and tied to specific contemporary events, such as Brexit or modern protests. Da Vinci, according to the British Library, integrated multiple layers of meaning in his works, blending scientific observation, anatomy, engineering, and artistic symbolism. His creations were not just responses to society, but advancements that contributed to long-term knowledge across disciplines. I will now summarize my team's case. So, ladies and gentlemen, we the negative team strongly reject the idea that Banksy is the Da Vinci of his time. As Isabella explained, Da Vinci's contributions spanned art, science, and engineering. His notebooks reveal inventions, anatomical studies, and artistic techniques that reshape multiple fields and still influence generations. Banksy, in contrast, works in street art tied to current event headlines. His work is relevant today, but will it endure in 100, 500, 5,000 years' time? Da Vinci's legacy has, Banksy's may not. As Minerva showed, Da Vinci's mastery and innovation were transformative. He created knowledge and advanced entire disciplines. Banksy, while clever and provocative, reacts to the world rather than creating it. Ladies and gentlemen, Banksy may shock us. He may make us laugh. He may make us pause and think. But cleverness alone does not shape centuries. Commentary alone does not rewrite history. Popularity alone does not create genius. Leonardo da Vinci changed the world. He built bridges across art, science, and knowledge. So if you're looking for thank you.